next sketch, we are going to be doing a penguin portrait, which means we're going to focus on the penguin's head necessarily. There are going to be a bunch of little details that we're going to get, but we are also going to work through a bunch of different values to help with the differences in light and dark in our penguin portrait. But the first thing that we need to do is start worrying about the values that are happening with this. So we're going to start off with a really light pencil, and I'm also going to hold it a little bit further from the tip so that we can get some nice sketching down. Now our penguin portrait is going to have a very rounded head to start off with, and a penguin's head is a lot like an oval. So I'm going to get some lines here to kind of show the sketchy part of the head, getting the long oval, that basic shape. It's like an egg lying on its side almost. Then from here we're going to get the beak of the penguin. Now this will come out, sweeping down from the top, pointing over to one side, and coming to a point as it descends. It's going to curve. We want to keep all of these lines nice and curvy, so I'm making a lot of really short lines rather than worrying about really strong and big, thick lines. Your penguin's beak is going to be about the same distance or the same width as the head. So if you want to use your fingers to measure that out, I can take my index finger and say, okay, it's about that long from the tip. And just measure it out that way. That's an easy way for you to do it. Now, besides this, the penguin's beak is going to slope back in, and it's going to have a little bit of a point here. That helps them catch their fish and krill that they like. And it's going to descend down further, almost to where the sphere is, and then come down into the neck. There's going to be a little bump here, just a little one, and then a curve that comes down to form the beginning of the chest. I'm going to curve that line again to give them a nice big chest because they need to use their wings to steer, and they use heavy chest muscles to move those around. Next, I'm going to take the other side of the penguin's head here. I'm going to bring it down. They've got a really thick, really strong neck here, and that's going to bump out to form the beginning of their shoulder coming down. Now this is a special type of portrait called a bust, which means that we're only doing the head and the neck and the shoulders of the penguin. That's it. Let's get some of the big shapes that we see. The next big shape that I'm going to see is around the eye. Now the eye is going to be right around the middle of that oval that we created a little while ago, but it's going to be wide, almost like a target of the oval. And it's going to taper, meaning coming to a point on one side, coming across like that. Besides that, our penguin is going to have a lot of orange in its head. This is a king penguin, so they have a large bit of colorant on the lower beak, which comes down and around, kind of like an angry-looking cone, right to about where the eye is, right around there. There's going to be another part that's colored as well that comes up above the eye. It's going to curve down around, tapering to meet up with that part of our first oval. Coming all the way around there. There we go. The beak is going to separate around this orange part that we've got. So I'm going to bring it up from the point. The top bill of the beak is a lot bigger than the lower one. So it's going to come down and be a part of the mouth, about through there. And this is where the feathers of the penguin are going to start to form. Now, the penguin has a lot of gray feathers, which form around the back. Now, they can be black in the right light. But ours are going to be really shiny with this portrait, so it's going to look kind of gray. I'm going to make a line that comes around here, curving down around where the chest is going to be, and then coming to form the belly, right in through here. Then we're going to get some more of this orange color coming down to form the chest, and I'm just going to get some spiky lines to kind of show how that value changes. And that begins our penguin portrait, how the lines kind of add up that we need. So let's start off with the lightest values first, and that's going to be part of the chest. So I'm going to take a light pencil and using the side of my pencil and holding it farther from the tip, I'm going to get it pretty far away from the tip here, and just blend that value. It's going to be really, really light to start off with, and it'll get darker as it moves up. I'm just going to play around with that value, that really, really light value down in through here. And then when I start getting into the warmer areas, where it's going to be a little bit more orange, I'm going to press down a little bit harder and move my hand closer to the tip. And that orange is going to be up here. But we're doing a graphite pencil drawing, so we don't need to worry about it being too bright because, well, we're doing black and white sketching. There we go. So we've got that feather change that's going on, and I'm going to use what's known as a blending stump to smooth over this surface. You can use a paper towel, or you can use a blending stump like this. Basically, this is paper that's been rolled really tightly. Some people like to use their fingers, but I really like to make sure that my fingers are not getting dirty. So I hold my blending stump or the piece of paper towel that I'm using really far from the tip so that I can blend this out and get that nice lighter tone. Now I'm going to do the same for the other areas of orange here using the same pencil. I'm going to hold it from the tip and blend it around the edge. Now this doesn't change as quickly as the other stuff, so it's going to be a nice smoother tone going all the way around, trying to get all the way to the edge using the side of my pencil because I don't want to show any marks. I want it to be smooth. And then we'll add the texture on top. Now that I've got that, I'm going to use my blending stump and blend it again, smoothing those edges out, getting those nice curvy parts. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, but I thought penguins were black and white. Why are we focusing on the orange parts and the white parts? Well, we have a tendency to draw the really dark stuff first, and it's actually easier when you're drawing to draw the lighter stuff first and then make the darker stuff come out. Now with the eyes, a penguin's eyes are often brown. So I'm going to go in and make a darker tone for the eye and then use a little bit more value around the edges to make